What's up, van lifers, travelers, and food eaters? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and as always, give us a thumbs up.
So we've been in the van for about 2 months now. We've had our highs, we've had our lows. So these are the 10 top things that you gotta know before starting van life.
And we're gonna show you our emotions using our trusty, not so good, but helpful stick figures.
Don't judge us.
So we're gonna start it off with travel planning. So the main reason why it was probably a little stressful for us was it was definitely a new routine.
Yeah.
We're new to van life, and being on the East Coast, there really just isn't as many resources like boondocking and BLM land or national forests. So it was stressful at first, but once we learned and we found our travel tools, we got some smiles on our face.
Yes, we're good now.
So these are the things, these are the apps on our phone that we use that really help us along the way and really kind of changed our vision and our view on how we're going to plan in the future. First one is definitely Harvest Host, Boondockers, Campendium, and iOverlander.
Harvest Host and Boondockers are very similar. Basically, you pay an annual fee in order to use the application. Harvest Host, you stay at small businesses like farms, breweries, and wineries, whereas Boondockers, you stay at people's personal homes.
We pretty much enjoyed all of our experiences with both Boondockers and Harvest Host. Boondockers is definitely more of a community, and you interact with the host a lot more, whereas Harvest Host, you can interact with the people, but sometimes you can get a Harvest Host and may never even see the business owner at all. Excuse me.
Number 2, spacing. So we've been dating for 5 years, and half of that we lived together.
And 10 months of that was with your parents.
Yeah, so we've been through a lot. But this van, this tested us.
It tested us a lot. Downsizing for me really wasn't that bad. I mean, I'm already kind of a minimalist as it is, so the clothes part was not really a big deal. But the spacing of just the body and the amount of food that we get to pack, that was a little worrisome.
Downsizing for me was not as easy. I'm not gonna lie, I had a ton of clothes and I gave so much away. I saved about 2 weeks worth, and I focused on basic things that I could mix match around, and I realized I really just don't need that much, and I wind up wearing the same things over and over again, and I'm fine with that.
We try to just keep it number 1, but when you gotta go number 2, you gotta go. And it happens here and there. And that's probably the biggest change or difference is you can't just go whenever you want. And the reason why we don't go in here is obvious because it's smell and cleaning, it just takes a little bit longer, and we haven't found really a solution that dims down the smell of a number 2. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with the bathroom. And I peed and I wasn't really paying attention to the toilet at all. When you have to flush our toilet, you have to turn the knob. And when I went to turn the knob, nothing happened. I was like, well, I didn't flush it. So when I looked and examined it closer, I noticed that I put the piece on wrong when I was fixing the toilet. Essentially what happened is I just peed and it just leaked all into everywhere.
And it's raining out. In order to break down waste, we use RV Digest. It's an eco-friendly bacteria that liquefies toilet paper and number 2s, but like Farrah says, it doesn't really get rid of the smells, so if you guys know of something better, let us know in the comments.
So I'm a little indifferent on the shower, and we've only used it a couple times. As you can see, as a 6'1" guy, my head kind of hits here, so like I'm a little bit more like crowded, but in the times when we really need to use it, it's been great. The only thing is we only have 20 gallons of fresh water and a 20-gallon wastewater tank, so unless we know that we're gonna have like more water in the future, then we tend not to use it just because we don't want to lose that water and waste it on showering. So we tend to go a little dirty.
Working out was part of our daily routine before we left for van life. We thought we could just pack our dumbbells and work out every day. It's not that easy. But Planet Fitness has come in handy. They have gyms all over the country. It's 20 bucks a month for just one membership, and I can get Ferris in for free each month. So it comes in handy for a good workout, it helps with number 2, and you get a good shower in.
RV dump stations and getting water. RV dump stations and water, something we just never had to think about before, but now we do. There's 2 different apps that we use, Campendium and iOverlander, and they have an interactive map that show you where different dump stations around the United States, but sometimes it's just we're in a place that doesn't have an icon. So we have to find a couple other ways of figuring out how we're gonna dump or fill up our water. Sometimes you just call a local campground and they'll have a dump station and water for you, or there's a truck stop like Love's and Flying J, and they do have dump stations sometimes, and they usually have fresh water. And if we're in dire need of getting water, then I have my spigot hunter, Lisa, looking for spigots everywhere. She'll just point one out and we'll go there, and then we'll ask the clerk, hey, can we fill up with your spigot in the back? And they usually are pretty nice as long as you fill up with some gas.
Number 6, laundry. So obviously we don't have a washing machine in the van. So about every 2 weeks, we go ahead and grab our laundry bags and we head to a laundromat. So one of the things you want to look for when looking for a laundromat is Wi-Fi. Some of them have free Wi-Fi, so we'll go in there and we'll work. Another tip are these pods. So when you go to the laundromat, you can purchase, your detergent there and your softener. But if you go to the dollar store, you can find 10 loads for $1. Number 7, grocery shopping. 2 things you gotta know. Number 1, for the essentials like toilet paper, paper towel, and seasonings, head to the dollar store because it's legit $1. Number 2, if you're staying at a Harvest Host, it's recommended that you spend at least $20. You can get your fresh produce, you can get meats and dairy here, so that's what we do. So this may seem obvious, but you have to be very intentional with what you buy because you can only fit so much in here. So you do less at one time, but you go more often. Number 8, sleeping. So our bed isn't huge, it's actually smaller than a full-size bed. I don't have an issue, but Ferris being 6'1", it was an issue. So
I have like this much room. If you're any bigger, you wouldn't be able to fit. Like maybe 6'2" would be just enough, or maybe 6'3", but I have 2 inches that either I have to have my head or my feet give room. One side is touching usually.
So this is how we started out sleeping, and it just was not good because Ferris would hit his leg on this wall over here, or he would roll into me. So what we figured out was that Ferris now sleeps with his head over here and I sleep with my head over here. The feet and the faces, it's not the worst thing.
But it opens up so much shoulder room and it really is a lot better. It's probably the only way that we can sleep and feel like we have just a little bit extra room.
So another thing just in general with van life that you need to keep in mind is leveling, and it might be just a little bit louder than you're used to. So we have to keep the windows open most of the time just for ventilation of the van and airflow, and if it is really hot, we don't want to turn on the AC, and you have to keep the windows open. It's not ideal, and that tends to wake me up. Maybe not as much Lisa, she's a pretty sound sleeper, but I wake up often. And then the other thing is leveling the vehicle. There are times when it's just not that level. It can be really, really hard to sleep, so that's why people use leveling block, maybe recovery gear to put under your tires to level you out. If we are going to be on unlevel ground, that we have our head on the higher point so that our feet are going that way so the blood isn't rushing down towards our head. So coming in second to last on the list is work-life balance. This is something that is extremely different from what we were used to. We're used to a 9-to-5 corporate job, so just that routine in itself has been a challenge for us. And then the conveniences of just like having Wi-Fi anytime you want it is definitely not always there, even though we have Verizon, T-Mobile, and we have a hotspot that's in on AT&T that's in the van. If we need really good Wi-Fi, we have to go to places like Starbucks, McDonald's, another coffee shop. For us, it's uploading videos. That's really important. For you, it might be something else. But having good Wi-Fi all the time, whenever you need it, a hindrance and a barrier that we have to overcome. So once we figured out the Wi-Fi, it's also figuring out the timing, like how long are we gonna work? It can be hard when your workspace is right here in the van, and it's also your eating space, it's also your leisure space. So we really have to be conscious of shutting those things off, being done, putting them away, and then starting our leisure time. And we had to also, when we're in Wi-Fi, get some of those like comforts that we like Netflix and downloading things onto our phone and on our computer so we can watch and just relax, turn off our brains. So as much as we wanted to be free, we had to bring the structure back into our lives.
All right, we saved the best for last. Budget. Alright, before I get into it, I do want to say we will be making other YouTube videos on the topics we talked about today, but we have a huge project plan for the budget. Alright, let's get into it. So before Ferris and I left for van life, we did a ton of market research and put together a business plan. In that business plan was the budget. And thank you to my corporate financial background, we did it in Excel. Yay! All you business people love Excel. So in the budget we have our fixed costs like the van payment and insurance, and then we have variable costs like groceries, diesel, and camping. We do track it daily just to make sure we're not spending too much money, but I will say month number 1, we were over by a landslide. 2 things that went into that: the drone fix. We accidentally crashed our drone and we weren't expecting to have to fix that. And then number 2, some Amazon purchases. We needed some things for the van, but those were just a one-time thing and we don't expect to have those in future months. We did adjust our budget just to allow for a teeny bit of little extra spending, and now we're in month 2 and we're actually under our budget, so we're doing pretty well. But I'm curious to know what you guys think it costs to live in a van, so let us know in the comment section, and also let us know if you want to see our actual costs and what we spend in a month. Hope you guys enjoyed these top 10 things you gotta know before starting van life. Honestly, it's made our journey so much easier and we hope they help you too.
As always guys, if you found this information helpful for you, please hit that subscribe. We're always gonna be uploading Monday and Thursday, so twice a week. And give us that thumbs up. Love you guys. Thanks for the support.
Thank you.
See you in the next episode.
Our stick figures are so bad.
Trash. But leave a comment if you think that they actually helped.
Yeah.
If not, we won't do them again.
Yeah.
But I think they did.
Hey, just a little side note, Ferris and I did take a drawing class together in college and this is the result.